is a word I use to describe.
Let's spend a few minutes talking about writing to your donor families. You may ask, why should I write to my donor families? From the donor family's perspective, they're concerned for you. They're concerned for your health. They want to know how the transplant went and how the days after the transplant is going. This also helps their grieving process. It helps for them to know that their loved one is still going on. And this quote is from one of our donor families. They said, "Some of us who are grieving need so desperately to hear that our choice was for good, that we did what was best, that we honored our son's wishes, and that it made a difference." Recently, I was reading an article on a study that was done in Canada, and the study was to determine if donation helps with the grieving process. It was a very interesting article, and I pulled these two quotes from the article, and if you look at the second sentence, it says, "They are especially encouraged when they receive letters from a grateful organ recipient." And the second quote is from a donor mom. She said, "Every day of my life I think of him and miss him, but I believe that something good came of it." She said, noting 3 individuals received his organs. She cherishes a letter from one of them. And that is so true. When I speak to donor families, they tell me how they have an envelope or a special file that they keep all of their recipient letters in, whether it's one or more. So to continue on with why, from the recipient's point of view, it's a good way to give condolences, to show your appreciation, and to also tell your story. Explain how the transplant has improved your health or changed your life. Explain what you now enjoy that you couldn't or didn't before. You were able to walk your daughter down the aisle, or see your first grandchild be born, or celebrate your 50th birthday, whatever it is. And also explain things that you have celebrated since the transplant. Example again, like your 50th birthday. Another reason to write is for the potential of meeting your donor family. There's a few things that have to happen before a meeting can be scheduled. At least one correspondence from both the recipient and the donor family. Both parties have to express their desire to meet, whether it's verbal or written. And also at least a year from donation. And I have a few pictures from meetings, and you will recognize some of these handsome men. This is one meeting that I was a part of last year, and this transplant happened 20 years ago, so it just proves that it's never too late. This is a lung recipient. He's the gentleman in the middle with the green shirt. This is another lung recipient in the white shirt. And here is one of our heart recipients. And there's another heart recipient. He's hiding in the back behind his family. Yeah, there he is. So how to write to them. You can send a card, a letter. It can be typed or handwritten. And it can be a couple of sentences, or it can be a 3-page letter, whatever you feel comfortable with. We do suggest that you leave out personal information like your last name, your hometown, your home or email address, phone number, anything personal. But you can put your first name if you would like to. Or you can sign grateful recipient or heart recipient, something like that. So here is a sample letter that I want to show you. It's short and to the point. Dear donor family, my daily prayers, as well as those of my family, continue to be with you in the loss of your loved one. The unselfish act of the gift of a kidney has given me a second chance for life, for which I will be eternally grateful. Your loved one's legacy lives on. May God continue to embrace you in His loving arms and give you strength to face the days ahead. And here's another sample letter. I'm a 64-year-old woman who received a kidney that your family donated. Words can't express what a difference the kidney has made in my life. I was going to the dialysis 3 times a week, and because I am visually handicapped, arranging transport was often very difficult. My transplant continues to be successful. My energy level has improved amazingly. I know your decision must have been difficult, and saying thanks doesn't seem enough. Please know that I'll always remember your generosity. Thanks from the bottom of my heart. So this just gives you a little bit of example how she told her story, and it was short and to the point. and she also gave, showed her appreciation. So here's a few samples that I pulled from letters that I've received. We can't express our gratitude enough from the gift of a liver, an enormous gift. Bless you and thank you. And this is another example of telling your story. She was only 3 months old at the time of the surgery. Seeing her wake up from surgery brought true happiness to the entire family. Every day that we see her, we know it was due to your kind donation. Please know how much your family means not only to me, but my family as well. I will always be grateful for this wonderful gift and will cherish the additional years of life I have. Your family has provided me the greatest gift one human being can do for another, and that is the gift of life. So send in your letter. Once you've decided to, or once you've written your letter or have your card ready, you can send it to your transplant coordinator, or you can send it to Lifeshare, and we'll make sure it gets to the right place. We ask that on a separate piece of paper, you put your full name, your date of transplant, and I don't know if you have your UNOS number, any kind of information that makes sure that we get the letter or card in to the right place. Questions?
Do you have any samples of these letters that we could have?
Email?
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, I can get it to the Newhearts. I don't know if you're the one that emails out everything, and we can send samples. Yeah.
Okay, that'd be good.
Also, there's a website. It's called livenethealth.org, and they have their Thanks to You, I think, website, and it just gives samples of things that you can write, and that's actually where I got a little bit of the information for my presentation. That's another good resource.
What is that again? Say that again, the website.
LifeNet Health. You can Google it and you just put LifeNet Health if that's easier. And you'll see on there, it'll say at the bottom, it'll say for transplant or tissue recipients. It's actually for tissue recipients, but you can reword it for organ. Anything else?
When you were talking about, possibly meeting the donor family, you said you have correspondence in both ways. Now, in this first letter, should you say anything about meeting, or should you?
You can. Yeah. Just say, I've seen in other letters, I'd love to possibly meet you one day or something.
How long does this process normally last from the time that we get it to the coordinator to get to y'all? I mean, about how long does it, before we might possibly hear something?
Yeah, well, as far as sending a letter, say you send a letter to your transplant coordinator, and then they send it to me, and then I send it to the donor family, I would give about a month.
About a month?
Yeah, I try to do them at least every 2 weeks, send them out. And I don't know how the transplant center does it. I'm sure they probably send them right away. I'm not sure.
No, actually we do. As soon as you guys give us, we get everything together, and then we send it on to Kristal.
Okay.
So we don't hold it, we just get it on to them, so. Now, remember, there are some of you guys that have organs that are from different OPOs, and that may take longer.
What's OPOs?
Organ procurement agencies, which is what Lifeshare of Carolina is. There are some of you guys that have organs that are from outside of this region, and we work with different staff. So that may take a little bit longer, it may not. It just depends on that particular agency. And we do have, oddly enough, there's some of you in here now that have had their organs from, obviously different places besides our region, which is over Lifeshare. Krista, do you mind, particularly since you've got other things you've got to do this afternoon, to send me your presentation, and then we always keep everybody that signed in, I'll know who it is, and then I can give everybody the slide presentation, I can print it, and I can mail it to all of you guys after the fact. With the little tips.
Okay.
Daryl said, why aren't we having sodas anymore? Because I'm mailing everything out these days.
Cherish is a word I use to describe all the feeling that I have hiding here for you inside. don't know how many times I wish that I had told you. You don't know how many times I wish that I could hold you. You don't know how many times I wish that I could mold you into someone who could cherish me as much as I cherish you.